Ancient Egypt, a powerful civilization at its peak. But everything was about to change when a series of devastating plagues struck the land. I'm going to take you through one of history's most dramatic showdowns, Moses versus Pharaoh, and the 10 plagues that brought Egypt to its knees. It all began when Pharaoh refused to free the Israelite slaves. As the Bible tells us in Exodus, God sent Moses with a warning, but Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and so it began. The first plague turned the Nile River to blood, and all the water that was in the river turned to blood, reads Exodus 7:20. Fish died, the water stank, and Egyptians dug desperately for clean water. Then came the frogs, countless frogs everywhere. In people's homes, their beds, their food. As Exodus 8:3 describes, the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into your house. The third plague brought lice or gnats, infesting people and animals alike. The fourth unleashed swarms of flies, and the fifth struck Egypt's livestock with a devastating disease. But it got worse. The sixth plague covered Egyptians with painful boils. Then came the seventh. Moses stretched out his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, Exodus 9:23, destroying crops and anyone caught outside. The eighth plague brought locusts that devoured whatever crops remained. The ninth plunged Egypt into complete darkness for 3 days, so dark, as Exodus 10:21 tells us, that they could not see one another. And finally, the most terrible of all, the death of the firstborn. Only those who marked their doorposts with lamb's blood were spared, as God's angel of death passed over their homes, giving us the name Passover. Each plague targeted something the Egyptians worshipped: the Nile, their animals, even Pharaoh himself, who was considered a living god. It was a divine demonstration that there was only one true God. Finally, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh relented. "Rise up and get forth from among my people," he told Moses. And thus began the Exodus, one of the most famous journeys in human history. These plagues weren't just random disasters. They were a systematic dismantling of Egyptian society and its beliefs, showing the power of faith and the consequences of oppression. Whether you see it as history or allegory, the story of the 10 plagues remains one of the most compelling narratives of divine intervention and human liberation ever told.